Right, guys, look, Logan, I love a good recovery drive, mate. Don't get me wrong, but you could just have a good drive, you know? You don't have to recover from something. And Jack, crashing at the same spot 4 times in a weekend. It's a little Formula 4, you know what I'm saying? Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today we're in Verstappen lane for the Dutch Grand Prix. It is a track that should, in theory, suit our car, I think. Lots of sort of slower, longer corners, but we'll see how we go anyway. We are, of course, sitting 4th in the Constructors. We have Sargeant up there in 4th in the Drivers, Crawford in 15th. And we just need... Belgium was a little bit of a messy race for us last time, wasn't it? Crawford just couldn't stop crashing at the bus stop. And that's the name of the chicane, or it used to be anyway. I'm not quite sure what it's called now. And Sargeant just was looking good for a podium and then spun, didn't he? Like Sargeant used to do. So, yeah, a bit of a flashback that one. Hopefully, we've moved past it. Now, there's nothing new on the car. It's only been a 4-day break. But driving-wise, Sargeant does have a development point, which we will continue to stick into... smoothness, I suppose, or do we just go overtaking to a nice round 70 maybe, get a little bit better at overtaking? There's nobody else there, and the other person that did have a development point when I checked was Simone Resta, our technical chief, and we will stick that point on to let's stick it on to side suspension. Oh, he becomes 84. I think suspension helps with cooling. Or side pods helps with engine cooling, actually, doesn't it? So either way, it wouldn't have mattered. So that goes up to 84. So that is pretty much it. Not much else has happened. The only other thing that did happen is our suspension simulator, was it? One of these things got refurbished. I can't remember which one it was now, but yeah, anyway, that's all looking good. So the race weekend. Let's have a look here at the track. It is, where are we here? A wet qualifying, potentially. It could be free practice 3, but usually... it'll be qualifying when there's the track map: red sector 1, blue sector 2, yellow sector 3. Sections by speed. It's not actually that low speed, is it? It's a lot of high speed corners, so maybe it won't actually suit us that well. Medium and high speed corners. Time considerations, we can see 50% chance of a safety car, though the safety car sort of pit stop time is not that much different, is it really? That's surprising, actually. Expected strategy is a 1-stop. You could do a very aggressive 2-stop, but a 1-stop is the way to go. Compound performance, there is what's that, half a second difference between the soft and the hard, and the drop off is not that great of a difference. So soft tyre could well be the one to be on here, couldn't it? Previous race results, last season we had K-Mag 3rd and Sargeant in 7th. If we could get 2 cars in the top 7 again, I'd be pretty happy. K-Mag has won here, so we have won here before, and let's hope that we can do that again. The recent form would suggest we'll be lucky to have both cars finish with the original parts on the car. Qualifying, someone into 8th, Q3, and then Q2 as well. I don't like to do the fastest lap because I don't want to push us. 2 cars in the top 8. That is a very, very big ask to guarantee. Finishing position, someone in the top 10, and qualifying, someone in the top 10. Hopefully, we'll be able to do both of those things. So let's head off to Zandvoort. Hope you got your gas mask for all the orange smoke, and yeah, off we go. So there we go, confirmation of the weather, heavy rain. So qualifying could be interesting. We'll do free practice, and I'll see you with an umbrella ready for qualifying. Alright, so free practice is done. Now, we haven't had any rain yet, which means it is going to be wet for qualifying. If you have a look at how free practice went, now you'll notice a lot of penalties. There was a lot of crashes in free practice, and shockingly, none of them were us. So FP1, we had Sargeant in 10th, Crawford in 15th. FP2, Sargeant there in 12th, and Crawford in 15th. And then FP3, it was Sargeant in 8th. Crawford maybe not having a great session down there in 19th, but it's all looking good because... oh, I forgot he had a good penalty, didn't he, for me stupid Oconing at in Spa. Anyway, 100% setup confidence, which is excellent. Now, one thing that I did forget to check after the last race was how did Crawford's car sort of pull up after the last race, given that he had quite a major incident. And unfortunately, it's not a particularly... DRS dependent track, is it? So let's go with the older one. His gearbox took a knock. So Crawford is in all likelihood going to need a gearbox penalty at some point this season, which is his own fault. he has no one to blame but himself. So we're looking for a bad qualifying race at some point, and we might even just load him up on penalties and make sure he's going to get to the end of the season. But still looking a bit better on Sargeant's car, but it's starting off dry this first session. This Q1 session, I should say. So let's get straight out there. If it rains, I will come back beforehand. Hopefully, though, I won't need to. We'll be comfortably through into Q2. So, yeah, absolutely fine. Never in doubt. Sargeant just did the one run. He was in 9th in the end. Crawford, we did send him out just to be a little bit safe, but he was absolutely fine as well. So, on to Q2. No rain as of yet. All right, we are on board with Crawford. Sargeant is just in front of us. We're currently 7th and 10th with Crawford. Now, the first run we did on new tyres, I wasn't sure when this rain was showing up, so I didn't want to have a set of new tyres that we didn't use, basically. And we are on new tyres again. Both have done a green first sector. What's everybody else doing here? So yeah, this is going to maybe limit us a little bit in the race in terms of having new fresh tyres to go. But I think it was important to get as far up this grid as we can. And Crawford is he's just been bumped. Now we've done green with Crawford. Sargeant is looking good. He'll stay in. Crawford will end 12 plus 3. So yeah, 12 plus 3 plus I don't know when other penalties are going to come into factor here, because there is a few in the top 10 there, which is good for Sargeant, isn't it? If he can bump himself up here, then it could be good in terms of front 3 rows of the grid. And the rain has arrived. So what we're going to do is we are going to send him straight out. We're doing 4 time laps. We'll keep an eye if we get to the point where it's getting close to inters, which is possibly now, but it is still wet. This is the point we need to be on inters, isn't it? So let's I should have come straight in there, I think. So let's come in. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have missed this window, if I'm honest. So let's go on an inter and let's get back out there as quickly as we possibly can and hope we get a lap in before this rain comes. It's definitely an inter tyre right now, isn't it? Go on, Sargeant. Go on, Sargeant. He's done green. He's done purple. He goes top. And he goes again. Purple, purple, purple. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Is it going to actually now go to slicks at some point? I don't think it is. We've got a nice margin. Is anybody going? There are people going faster. Albon goes faster. Sargeant is down to 3rd now, but look at everybody that is. He's going to end up. Well, he's going to end up a little ways away here, isn't he? Leclerc is going to end up in 10th. Well, that's massively disappointing, isn't it? Why is he so slow? I mean, he's not great in wet weather, I suppose, but anyway. Yeah, I don't really understand why he was so far off the pace there, but anyway. 10th it is, 10th and 12th. There's going to be penalties, so we'll see where we start. So 7th for Sargeant and 13th in the end for Crawford, so his penalties weren't too bad. Now in terms of strategy, we're not expecting any rain. Soft hard is the marginal, just about get you there strategy. So do we go with that, or do we play it a little bit safe and go... I think we go maybe medium hard, although the soft tyre was a decent tyre, wasn't it? Are we gambling on a safety car at some point just to eke out the tyres a little bit? I think we just play it safe, don't we? No, let's risk it. Let's go... No, I don't know what to do. Alright, we'll play it safe. We'll go strategy A there. But I think with Crawford, we're going to do this one, but then we're going to invert it. So we're going to go and start on the hard, go to the soft, and try and bring him home a little bit with a wet sail. Hope for a safety car at the right point, which will close things back up for us. And yeah, hopefully he will have a good race on that strategy. So we've gone a little bit counter strategy in that we're not doing option A, but let's hope that option B works out for us. Okay, welcome back. I think we do need to play it just a little bit safer with Sargeant, given that he's already in the points. We know we, for the most part, have a good race car. So I think that works out. Now, what is everybody else on here? There is a hard tyre, that's Crawford. So it's about 50-50, isn't it, the rest between a medium and a soft. So the soft tyre is essentially, you would think, unless they're two-stopping, that is essentially Crawford's strategy. It's just that we're doing it in reverse. So, yeah, we'll see how we go here. Now, Crawford is up and down, 13th, 14th. He must be battling with Crawford, is he? With Crawford, with Guan Yu Zhou. And he's just about got that done. Is he Erzing, or is it just us that's Erzing on the outside? Not the greatest place to be. I think he may have gone through the wall there, but that's okay. And Sargeant is still behind Pierre Gasly, which again is fine. Oh, he might have got a move done there with the Erz. And let's see if we can catch up to the back of these soft tyre runners that are stuck behind the medium runners. If we can do that and get on this train... Oh, go away, Gasly. Come on, mate. Just admit defeat. You're French. You should be able to do that. Come on. This is looking good now. We've got that gap down. We should be in the DRS range. We are. ERS and DRS. They've really got to not make them quite so similar, don't they? I mean, they're the next letters in the alphabet as well. But anyway, fastest lap for Sargeant. That will almost certainly go later on in the race. But yeah, this is a promising start. Crawford's doing okay on his hard tyre, and Sargeant is, well, he's in the lead group. We've got to stay on the track here, though, don't we? Alright, so it is a long race, this one, but Sargeant has lost the back of that lead quartet. Sainz had a lock-up, so he has dropped off. So, yeah, Sargeant is currently 5th, though you suspect sooner, there it is there, we're going to sort of go into a bit of a DRS back and forth, although Magnussen's got past him and is in danger of just driving away from him a little bit here. Does Sargeant, I wonder, need to push the tyres a little bit? We know that it's a relatively comfortable tyre strategy, but does that involve pushing the tyres a bit? Crawford is in 12th. He is in the Giovinazzi train, which is 8th and back. If he can stay there, again, soft tyre later on, that's not bad. I mean, if he scores points, then that's always, you know, that's always a good day for Crawford. He just is in a little bit of danger here of losing the back of that now, as Norris looks like he has got past. And where are we here? Crawford only just in that DRS range. So he needs to try and stay there. But yeah, the race has settled in a little bit, which is fine. We might just be waiting for the first stops to come now. Alright, we are, what are we now? 24, so we're getting up towards a 1/3 race distance. Nothing has really changed, to be honest, except for the fact there's cars falling off the track in front of Crawford. So he's gone up to 10th. Without actually having to make an overtake, which is nice. Verstappen running wide, that has dropped him out of that lead group. He's on a soft tyre as well. They should be getting ready to come in soon. The soft tyres are coming towards the end of their life, and in fact, we've got some stops happening just there as Perez comes in. So, I think we're doing okay. Now, of course, Sargeant is, we enter our pit window. Sargeant is going to be going onto a hard tyre, so he's not necessarily, going to be on a particularly racy tyre, but Crawford, well, we know he's got a soft to come. Now, we are behind Stroll and a Williams, which is never a good sign. But generally speaking, though, Crawford is doing quite well. With ever, the caveat is we need to keep it on the track. But 3rd and 7th in the middle of a pit window, so, you know, it's not necessarily that's where we are on merit. But it certainly could be going a lot worse this race, that's for sure. Alright, now everybody else has pit. We are risking it a little bit with Sargeant here. We should really be going full attack on this in-lap, but I just don't quite trust him on recent form to do that. So we are going to push the petrol a little bit and see what we can do. Crawford, though, absolutely flying in 3rd. Now, Leclerc, I think, has made a stop, hasn't he? So that is, yeah, so that is the position that is well and truly gone for us. But let's see what Sargeant's pit stop is like. Crawford, he's still got a long way to go to his stop. You can see there, he's coming in about lap 45 or so, so another 14 laps. It's an okay stop for Sargeant. Let's see where he's going to come back out here. That's Magnussen. That is roughly where we were, I think, isn't it? Magnussen and Gasly. So not too much has changed there. So we'll settle in and see what we can do. It's a little bit disappointing, actually, but we did stop after them, so we'll have marginally fresher tyres. But yeah, Crawford's doing okay here. That's Perez in front who has made a stop, I believe. He was one of the first ones to come in, wasn't he? So now it could actually work out quite nicely, this, for Crawford. If he can stick onto the back of the Ferrari get sort of DRS'd along doing roughly the same lap times as him, then it can only be a good thing for him once he does come into his to do his stop.
There's been a crash.
Oh, Charles Leclerc has crashed. Now that is going to move everybody up. Is he coming into the pits, or is he just done, or is he just going to continue on like nothing has happened? We're on board. This is who we should be on board with. We're going to try and do a little bit of a harvest here and see if we can stay with them with the harvest, and then, you know, look to use a full battery to attack a little bit later on in the race, perhaps. Because as things stand right now, yeah, I mean, it has been a little bit of a procession, if I'm honest, so far. This must be Crawford coming up in front here. Now, everybody is a lot quicker than Crawford. Let's have a look at lap times here. Crawford's doing 13s, high 13s to everybody, sort of mid-12s. So he is definitely slower on the hard tyre, albeit one that has done a lot of the race at this point. Put him on a new soft tyre. I am going to be very curious to see what sort of lap times he can do, if I'm honest. So, yeah, this is... if you can keep him behind as well, then that'll be an extra bonus. Let's push the petrol on a little bit here. But yeah, Crawford's lap times on a soft tyre could be very, very interesting indeed. As he has just lost out there to... Has he? No, he stayed ahead of Gasly. No, who's in front of us here? No, Magnussen has got past him. And what we will need to do in a second here is make sure we, you know, don't once Gasly gets past, is don't hold up Sargeant, basically. We already can see Magnussen galloping off into the distance a little bit. But he's getting very close to his stop here, isn't he? He's got a couple of laps to go. And then he'll be in. And if Gasly gets past him here, which he does not, I don't think there's anybody particularly behind Sargeant. Right? I mean, it doesn't matter if Crawford loses the position here. It doesn't really matter, as his pit window is now entered, and he's doing a very, very good job of keeping Gasly behind. The issue, of course, is that Magnussen is galloping off in the distance, almost 2 seconds a lap, so that's not great. But yeah, we've almost recharged our battery sitting behind here. In fact, we have. So that's a nice little bullet in our gun for later in the race. And the thing is that we can't pit Crawford too early here. Okay, you need to let your teammate pass now, mate. Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little bullet to have in the gun for later in the race. We can't pit Crawford too early, though, because we know it's very marginal. So, to get his tyres then to the end, the soft tyres to the end. So he's got to hang it out to the optimal lap. But he is going to be quick come the end of this race. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. The question, I guess, is how far back does he go? But then everybody else is going to be that much slower on their old hard tyres, aren't they? So, yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting second half of the race. So, we have got Logan Sargeant putting the move on Gasly. You can see Sainz in the Ferrari, who locked up early on in the race, so he's coming back through. But very nicely done there by Logan Sargeant. And Crawford is coming in this lap. What we might do with Sargeant is have a sneaky bid for fastest lap as well. I dare say Crawford will get that straight back from him. So let's go deploy, let's go push, and let's go... I don't want to go too aggressive on these tyres with Logan. We know he can be a little bit of a accident waiting to happen. In comes Crawford. Sort of a pit stop time do we get for him. We're going to see any second now. There we go. It's a little bit quicker, so it's not a bad stop. He comes out 15th. So he's a long way down. Purple first sector, so that's good. And let's see what Sargeant can do here. We are deploying on this lap, so that's part of, you know, potentially the purple. So this should be fastest lap. Multiple cars have crashed. Oh, is it going to be a safety car? It is. Can Sargeant finish his lap? He can't, can he? Oh, and what a poorly timed safety car for Crawford. Literally the lap after. So here's a question for the class. Do we, and we don't actually know who's crashed yet, do we? Multiple cars. Let's have a look at it. Is that the lead group? Is that... No. So that's going to help Crawford out a little bit. This will help Crawford massively, actually, won't it? Because he'll be on a soft tyre. Oh, they've done a Crawford. So there we go. That's the end of those two. Do we stop Sargeant? is he did get the fastest lap. Do we stop Sargeant for a soft tyre? Now, we see how marginal it is for Crawford to get there. But with a safety car, is it going to just massively help him to do this? We've got a little bit of time to think about it. He's there. He'll drop a few positions. I think it might be worth it, you know. Of course, he'll come out ahead of Crawford, who's 11th. So I think we've got to do it, don't we? We've got the soft tyres, so we might as well use it. There are some cars coming into the pits. Everybody will sort of bank themselves up. And yeah, all we really lose is possibly Ocon will get us when it... We'll see if we get out ahead of Giovinazzi, but we'll stay in the points. And we'll just have a much, much faster tyre than everybody else. And he should be able to get it to the end here. That shouldn't be in question. So there's Giovinazzi. Is it coming past? Do we get inside line? No. So we're 10th and 11th, but we've got soft tyres now. Alright, so safety car is in. 10th and 11th. We're going to push the petrol because we've got quite a little bit extra here. We're going to ERS deploy Sargeant. We're not going to do it for Crawford because Crawford is behind Sargeant. What I don't want to happen here is our two guys to be battling, wasting ERS. So once Sargeant gets a bit clear, as he has already got past Giovinazzi, has he? Then we'll go and stick Sargeant. We'll get him to use his ERS as well, and then he can come through a little bit behind him. But this is going to work, I think, for Sargeant. He's not going to lose out here. If we get back to Sainz in 6th, is where we were, I can't see us not getting back there. Basically, we've got the two Alpines in front of us battling right now. We'll keep an eye on intervals. We've already got fastest lap, of course, with Sargeant, but he will be a decent chance of going and bettering that here. These two Alpines might get in our way, though, and we're going to need to try and... they can't drive side by side to the end of the race, surely. At some point, we should get past them, and this might be that point. Can we do it round the outside? It's a big ask. It is a difficult track to overtake, isn't it? And we've definitely got the pace on them. This should be one. Can we get the other one now as well? Not quite down there. Let's go and stick Jack Crawford onto his ERS now. Let's save a little bit with Sargeant. Not too much, though, in truth, has been saved. And DRS is now enabled, so that can only help us. And, well, this is Gasly, who, as we saw, we were battling with... We were just ahead of him, weren't we, before the safety car came out. I think worst case scenario, we should be looking to get ahead of Magnussen in the Alfa Romeo, shouldn't we? That should be sort of the minimum requirement here. But these Alpines are proving very, very tough nuts to crack. So we should have that. We should get DRS as well. So that'll be that move done. Crawford's got himself up into the points as he gets past Giovinazzi. That would have been DRS assisted, of course. And let's see if we can go and get Esteban Ocon now. It's going to be a bit of a DRS train. It's a fastest lap for Crawford, which we didn't really want him to do, if I'm honest. But we'll take the points where we get them. It's team points, isn't it? Which is what really matters. Ideally for his championship push, though, Sargeant getting that point would have been a little bit better. But yeah, we might stay with this, actually. It's been a bit of a boring race so far. At least we've got some action now. And let's see what we can do. Yeah, the old DRS train is not helping us here, is it? I wonder if we look to harvest a little bit. And then we can look to deploy when that opportunity comes around. Now, let's not forget, Leclerc did crash, didn't he? So he possibly has damage to his car, though it looks as though Perez... Oh no, it is all aligned. We are in the lead group here. Now, where's Crawford in relation to all this? He's there as well. We couldn't get a 1-2 here, could we? That's surely asking a little bit too much. But, yeah, it is definitely the top 11 in a line. And yeah, we just need to find a way through here using these soft tyres to their best advantage. It's going to be a bit of a case, I think, of maybe just trying to pick cars off. So let's have a go here with Crawford. Let's see if he can get some moves done. We will... Yeah, I mean, what we ideally need is for Albon to lose the DRS. And then we could maybe look to go. I think we need to go here because Albon is in danger of losing it as Crawford has burnt through his, which isn't ideal given he didn't really get any overtakes done. I might need to be a little bit more patient here, perhaps. Anyway, oh, here we go. This could be a chance. We've got a little bit of a run, and we go round the outside. We should have some deployment. That'll get us past Sainz, and Albon's going to try and defend. We're going to have the inside line here as well, and Sargeant is 5th. I tell you what, I've said it before in this sort of situation, Sargeant might win this race, you know. It is not out of the question that Sargeant could win this race. And he's going to go and get K-Mag, is he? Yes, he is. And suddenly he's 4th, and we can see the leaders.
So what DRS?
So this is now Verstappen in front. Again, we're in that the old fastest lap as well, so we get that back, and we might go stick it back on harvest here. Crawford, I think we might need to harvest him again, try and fill these batteries, and yeah, well, I'll come back if anything else major happens, but there's still a long way to go, 15 or so laps, but look at where Sargeant's sitting, in sight of the lead, just over a second away from it probably, and on a very, very favourable tyre as well. Okay, so we're about to come around to start 12 to go. Both cars have fully charged ERS systems, which is nice. So what we will do is I think we'll go and start, and we'll start with Crawford, try to see if we can move him up a little bit. I think Sargeant's best chance, it's probably his best chance. We might do the same with both cars. We do need to get moves because our tyre advantage, our tyres are going to degrade faster than those in front, so it is going to chip away. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1, which hopefully is none of our guys. Yeah, you can see we still do currently have a tyre advantage, but it is fading with every lap. And yeah, we do need to try and get this done. Now, of course, we can't really... Oh, we could push the tyres a little bit. You can see, though, it's very marginal to get there. This could be a chance. Down the inside, we're running against the pit wall. Oh, it's a little bit of a bump and run almost, it looks like. But we do get it done. Crawford gets past Ocon as well. So Crawford's up into 9th. Sargeant up into 3rd. And we are working on the back of Perez now. We're still using our overtake. Can we get this done under brakes? It's a bit of an ask, isn't it? Front straight is maybe our best chance, though that is the end of the ERS on both cars. So Crawford's got himself up into 8th, so he's got past, or not quite, he's almost got past both Alpines. Hasn't quite put Gasly away as of yet. Let's see if he can do that now. He's got the tyre advantage, but Gasly is proving a very, very tough nut to crack, isn't it? We had a hard time getting past him with Sargeant as well, but there we go. Better traction off of that corner. And we find ourselves in 8th now with Crawford. So that is that's a nice place to be for him.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Do we look to harvest again, I wonder? We've got 9 or so laps to go. As I say, the tyre advantage is starting to go away from us a little bit. So what we don't want is to lose a position that we've already gained from harvesting. But equally, I think we have got to still be eyes forward right now, don't we? So we will do that. Because we should have the better traction. I think if as soon as we start to see cars catching us, you know, coming out of a corner, that's when we need to sort of concede that we can't really charge the batteries. But we're staying with everybody. No one is really putting us under pressure from behind. So I think we've just got to go with it while we can. And then when we get to the last few laps of this race, then I wonder if we even just go deploy. If we sort of charge the batteries, wait till lap 70, and then just go with both cars, just full deploy, see how far we can get. And yeah, if we go lap 70, it should give us lap 70, lap 71, and then maybe like the front straight of 72, and then after that, the last lap, there's not really much of a place to use deploy anyway, as it looks as though Sainz and Albon in front are about to change position. And yeah, well, we're still right there, aren't we? The battery is now fully charged, so we can go to neutral. And, I mean, that might give us an opportunity to overtake. And Crawford, his charge should be done momentarily as well. Albon is the one that's struggling, isn't he? I think that looks to be fairly apparent. He's a bit of a cork in the bottle here. Now, Sainz in front of him doesn't have DRS currently. So that's going to pull Albon along. But that's okay, I think. I think that's okay. So there we go. We can put that to neutral. We've got another yellow flag in Sector 1. It's neither of our boys. So that's absolutely fine. We've got a safety car. Well, what has happened there? One thing we don't want to do, of course, now is...
There's been a crash.
So Ricardo.
Okay, there's a big crash.
Now that is going to actually maybe suit us in a way, because we'll be able to... We're already fully charged. As long as the safety car doesn't take us to the end of the race, then we're going to be able to absolutely go at the end with tyre advantage and petrol to burn as well. This is going to be a nice finish, isn't it? Okay, so we are about to start lap 70. Let's jump on board with Sargeant. Now, the one thing this has done is just meant that we can get our tyres to the end. It's actually really, really helped us as we're waiting for Leclerc to go. He goes now, so we're going to deploy to the end. We've got petrol to burn as well, so we're going to lift and coast at the end of the lap. And can Sargeant go and get a third Grand Prix victory? Perez is proving to be a bit of a tough nut to crack. Crawford is all over the back of Albon. That should be a fairly easy move for him, I would have thought, though possibly everybody is deploying at this point. So, you know, that we've maybe lost that advantage that we would have had. But soft tyre to hard tyre. Now, of course, after a safety car, and again, this may not be actually programmed into the game, the hard tyre would not sort of get going again very well at this point, given its wear, as Crawford does indeed get past Albon. That's going to be a front straight, I assume. Oh, no, it's a little bit better than that. It's coming on towards the front straight, so he gets himself another position. Very nicely done, Jack. And can we get Sargeant up into second? We're just seeing Leclerc disappear into the distance a little bit here, aren't we? And that is not what we wanted to see. It might well be we need to settle for second here, but I will settle for second if we can indeed get it. Here we go. Here we go. There it is down the outside. That is a good move. Can he hold on to it now? He should have the better traction. Get up the inside there, Logan. He's got it. And just as the battery drains, he has got himself up into second. I don't think we've got anything for Leclerc here as he starts the final lap of the race. And we possibly don't have too much left for... we'll stick it on deploy again, use what we've got. I don't think we have too much left with potentially Crawford either, though it would be very nice if we could get Carlos Sainz. Well, we've got to go to the lead, don't we? I don't want to push him because second is it's a good result with the fastest lap as well. He's given that everything has Logan. I don't think it's going to be quite good enough. Can Jack Crawford do a little bit better than seventh? It doesn't look like he can. So it is going to be Charles Leclerc winning in Verstappen's home country, which he won't like. But Logan Sargeant is second. And Crawford, he will come across and he will come seventh. A really good race for the team, that one. So there we go, 19 points for Sargeant, up 5 in the race. Crawford up 6 to 7th. Another really good race from him as well. He can do it, can't he? It's just he's not always the most consistent. We can see everybody else all the way down there. If we go and have a look at the drivers' standings, Sargeant moves ahead of Carlos Sainz now, back up into 3rd. And Crawford makes an appearance. He is now 12th. And you would argue he's going to do well to go much higher than that. But still, not bad for your first season. And where are we here? We have taken some points out of Alpine. We've extended our gap on Alfa Romeo and Mercedes. So we're just in that little 4th place island right now, aren't we? Could we catch Alpine before the end of the season? Maybe. If we're developing our car and they stop, you never know. Maybe we could get there. But guys, that will do it for today. The next race, I want to have a guess, is Monza. Though that could be a bad guess. Crawford's got development points as well. If you've enjoyed that, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you next time as we, who knows, maybe we can get another podium with one of them. It's going well this season, isn't it? Take care.